Council in Spain, and she specializes in teaching and learning English with early years and primary students. Her main interest is innovation, and the latest innovation is integrating coding into English lesson. And today she will be sharing with us her expertise on Meet the Micro, being coding and making it in English language classroom. And now to speak to us, Ruth Horsfall.
Thank you very much. Hello everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you Tessel in Italy for having me. It's really exciting to be here today, and very special for me as well because I have a connection with this country. I have had the pleasure of living in Liguria and Umbria, and I have wonderful memories of walking up the top of Stromboli and sleeping on the top of the mountain and watching the fireworks, lava fireworks display and the craters. A very special place in my heart, your country. However, that was 25 years ago. So I do apologise if you talk to me in Italian and it's a little bit rusty. Okay, so I would like to tell you what I do. So I work with young learners, and one of the things I do is look at new content and innovation, finding ways of helping engage and motivate our students, okay, in English language classroom. So that's me. What about you? I'd like to do a Find Someone Who, however, I think that might take around for the whole 45 minutes of the talk. So, can I just get a show of hands? How many people teach primary age students? Okay, great. And secondary? How many people teach in secondary aged? Okay, adults or vocational? Okay, wonderful. And how many people have used technology in their classrooms? Wonderful. How many people have heard of or done coding? Heard, okay. And last question, connected directly with the topic of this talk. How many people have seen, heard, or know what it is when I say the BBC microbit? Silence. Okay, great. Well, it's good to know that you're here, you not know what it is, you've come along to find out about it. So, let's have a little look. Before we start, I'd like to allay your fears. I'm not here to blind you with computer science. This is how I felt as a child in maths classes. I'm very much a right side of the brain kind of person. Logic and maths are not my forte. And so I am not a tech-savvy person, okay? And however, when I started to learn about the microbit, and what you could do with it in the classroom, and how it ignited interest, excitement, motivation, I started to fall in love with it. And now it's what I talk about. My colleague would agree with me, it's slightly obsessed. So it's a very easy tool. It's versatile, it's relatively cheap. Microbit costs about 13, 14 euros, okay? And it is a way of engaging and motivating children in the classroom. So, what is it? It's small, okay? It's a computer, and you can put it in your pocket, you can wear it, you can take it away from the screen, away from the computer, and put it into a model. Okay? And you can use it to play games with. So, why on earth would you want to use it in the English language classroom? Let's find out. We're going to look at a few areas, different areas today. We're going to have a little look at the coding side and see how we can integrate coding and language. Because the way the microbit works is that you code it, you download the code, and then you do fun and exciting things with it. Okay? We're going to look about how the microbit project began and the international impact. We'll meet the microbit, we'll find out about its features and functions, what it can do. We'll look, as I mentioned, at the coding unplugged. Has anybody heard of coding unplugged or an unplugged activity? What do you think that might be? Basic, yes, it's basic. Sorry? Yeah, so not plugged in, so no screens, no technology, helping understand the concepts without the technology. Okay, so we'll have some fun and play some games with some of those activities. And then we'll look at how we can actually use it to focus on form, okay, and give children the kind of activities that motivate them for language practice. We'll look at language skills, okay, and see what a typical microbit lesson might look like, okay, and how different language skills can be practiced at different points in the lesson, so you can see how it fits together. We'll look at the core skills, okay, because the microbit lends itself very well to creativity and digital literacy and collaboration, amongst others. We'll look at the microbit and making, and at the end we were going to have a microbit of fun, okay, so there is audience participation in this talk today, so please help me out, okay? So, a bit of a story now. How did it all begin? It began in... It began in 2015 when the UK government, after a research study, realised that there was a lack of critical skills in education and in in computer science classrooms. There was a need for more tech pioneers, and they worked together with the BBC to create the microbit. The microbit was invented for educational purposes, to help children understand technology, because in the future, we don't know what technology they will be using, we don't know what technology they will be involved with. And so we're not teaching children to use a microbit, we're teaching children to think about technology and think about computational devices and ways of using it. So, what the UK government did was to give a microbit, one of these, to every child in year 7 in the UK, which is when children are 11, okay? Every single child in the UK was given a microbit in 2016, and this was the impact. So 90% of students, it helped them see that anyone can code, anyone can do it. Okay? And this is a quote from the Director of Education at the BBC. I won't read that out for you, I'll just give you a second. For me, the most important thing here is this no need to be daunted. Okay, that really does resonate with me. So, the Microbit Foundation was formed, and British Council partners with the Microbit Foundation. They are a not-for-profit organisation, and this is their mission. They want to inspire every child to create their best digital future. In itself, a very valuable mission, but then these are some key areas that connect with what we believe at the British Council and what we believe pedagogically. Okay? So here we have the concept of encouraging girls to get involved in technology. The fact that the tool, as I mentioned, is easy to use, and it really does help foster creativity. Yes?
How much does it cost?
It costs approximately £11, so depending on the exchange rate, I think it was about €14 each when I bought them, if you buy one. Okay? I can give you more details at the end. In the concept of the academic side of things, so the Microbit Education Foundation works with the British Council and other universities to develop training programs and curriculum and materials. And there are a wealth of materials on their website that are there ready to go. I'll show you the website at the end. Again, removing the barriers. Removing the barriers and making technology accessible and coding accessible. So that's the Microbit Foundation. We're lucky enough to partner with them. And through the work that the British Council is doing, we have worked on lots of different projects across the globe. Okay? So here are some of the countries where we have Microbit activity. This is where we are, where I'm working with the Microbit. Be good to put Italy on the map. And very briefly, here are some examples of projects that my colleagues in our partnerships team have been involved in around coding with the Microbit. In Bangladesh, we set up maker spaces and we provide technology for young people in public libraries. We've reached 165 public libraries across Bangladesh. We have run coding workshops in a refugee camp in Greece for Syrian refugees to help them with digital skills. We have worked with the different countries in the Western Balkans, 6 different countries, where the British Council actually support the mainstream computer science curriculum with Microbit lessons. And we've set up a number of different code fests to encourage girls to get involved in digital making. So these are some of the projects that are not connected with English language. Okay, so when this fell into my lap from an English language learning point of view, I thought about what could we do with it? How could we connect it to our classrooms? And this is what we did. In the Spanish summer schools, we run content and activity-based summer camps. And in those summer camps, in the past we had done different activities, very successful activities, yoga, drama, we have done filmmaking, and this seemed to fit very nicely with that. So from a content and language learning perspective, this was a very good fit. And what we did was, we designed the lessons using the Microbit Foundation curriculum and materials, but we adapted it to the classroom. So we thought about what language we can focus on, what skills we can develop. It fits really nicely with our pedagogy because it was engaging, personally relevant, challenging, and yet open to differentiation. You can have different levels of coding knowledge as well as different levels of language competency. Variety, of course, learning technologies. It fosters a positive learning environment, collaborative learning, and perhaps most importantly, for children in our classrooms, it helped increase confidence. Because through getting excited and curious and being surprised by something that was not expected in the English classroom, children really did feel they wanted to talk about it. Yeah, and they wanted to use English to do that. So, very quickly before we have a look at some activities and try some things out together, just to show you a little bit of the journey that we went on to get to that end product of the microbit lessons. We did some exploring, first of all, so we thought about our syllabus, how could it fit. We bought 3 microbits and we played with them. And we had some teachers who were particularly interested in the Madrid Teaching Centre in technology, and we played around with them together. We bought some more. We did some teacher training, but the nice thing about the teacher training was because we didn't have an expert, we self-taught. So a group of 10 teachers from across Spain got together with our microbits, and we went through the training materials together and brainstormed ideas. And through that group, we created a community of experts. And we really did there was a lot of excitement going on. We had lots of social media groups around it and training networks. We developed the content. So we used the material that is open to everybody, and I'll show you where it is at the end of this session. We used that, but we adapted it to make sure that we have the language aspect present throughout. We put on some taster sessions, because it was important, not that we just wanted to do this because we thought it was a good idea, but we wanted to see how children reacted, how their language was improved, and what children and parents thought about the microbits. We had the review from that, and this was what we did. Okay, so this collage shows some different snapshots of the microbit lessons in our Valencia teaching centre in the south of Spain, where we ran the lessons for the first time this year, actually, and this just demonstrates the versatility of this tool, the coding and the speaking that was happening in the classroom. Children working together, the creativity of the models, and some of the more kind of post-making and coding tasks where there might be some writing integrated into the lesson. Okay. So what did the students think then? Why do we continue to do it? It was very successful. These are some of the thoughts from a student and a teacher on the summer course. This was from the Madrid Teaching Centre. Okay. Right. Now you're probably still thinking, okay, we've seen it, not understand what you did as a project, but don't really know what you would do with it. So I thought the best way to show you that is to show you a very short video of children themselves explaining what it is, what it can do, and why they like it. Okay, so maybe we've just had a very interesting session about video and language learning, so maybe think about those 3 things when you watch this video. Yeah, so what is it, what can it do, and why do children like it? Okay. When I said I wasn't tech savvy, you can see that I having a problem with the sound on my video. Thank you.
The microbit is a pocket-sized computer that lets you get creative with digital technology. You can code, customize, and control your microbit from anywhere. Light up the LED display to create something simple in minutes, or even communicate between microbits. Or get really creative with microbits' more advanced features, like its buttons, motion detector, compass, and sensors. You can create a guitar that changes the volume the more you shake it. Or a flick football game that powers a microbit scoreboard. and you can connect it to other devices, sensors, and everyday objects. So you could water your thirsty plants, or use Bluetooth to take photos with your phone, and control your music player. And you can customise the microbit in any way you can imagine. It's really anything you want it to be.
I think it's a bit like a robot.
It's quite different to any other technology I've sort of used before.
You just have fun with it.
I can control my tablet. You can make games, you can take pictures, kind of something that senses movement.
And you can just place it in your pocket and make whatever you want.
Or describe it as a lucha.
Right. I don't think it would be possible to describe it any better than those children did there. So, you know what it is. What can it do? Can you shout out some of the things it can do? Take photos, music. You can attach it to sensors, yeah. Water your plants. Scoreboard, yeah, with the flick football. Yeah, that's a very popular one. Okay, and what did these children say about why they like it? You can do anything you want. Yeah. So it's open-ended. You can be incredibly creative with it. Yeah. Anything else? You can take it with you. Yeah. Yes, it's different. It's new. I think for me the beauty of this is that it helps children become the inventors of technology. Okay, and they're creative inventors, they're not the consumers. And I think for me that is the key, and that's why it really does prove to be a successful tool for digital creativity. So, let's have a look at Coding Unplugged. Unplugged, no screen, no cables, no technology. The reason we do these activities is to practice English, listening, speaking, working together, but also to help children understand the concepts of computational thinking. Okay? That might sound quite complex, but we're talking about helping them understand at the beginning quite simple concepts of what coding is and what it does. So we're going to try something out together. Okay, you're my microbitters today. And I would like you to imagine that you are a microbit. Okay, can you do that for me? You are a microbit, and you have this is you, okay? Big heart. You have a button A. Okay, you can see that. Yeah. You have a button B. But you can also do things when I push both button A and B. And you can do things when I shake you. Okay? This is the input. Okay, so what do you have? You have a button A, button B. Okay. And there's also, you could do something else when I press both buttons. Great. Okay. So, let's see how we go. I'm going to be the code. So I am the code. You are the microbits. And what I want you to do is when I tell you button A, button B, button A and B, I want you to do an action. Okay? So, let's see what actions we have. We talked about the button A. I would like you to high five. You can high five the person next to you, or you can high five the air. You can choose. When When button B is pressed, I would like you to beep. Can you beep for me? Beep. Very nice. When you see button A and B, I would like you to shout your name. Come on, a bit louder. Yeah, that's it, great, okay. And then when I shake you, okay, I'm going to jump up and down. When I shake you, I would like you to make a heart, which is difficult holding the microphone. Ali can do it. Okay, so, simple. Are you ready? Yes. Here we go. Right, I'm going to do this without the microphone because I don't have 3 hands, okay? But I have got quite a loud voice.
So, are you ready? We're going to do first in sequence, okay? Easy, start easy. Okay, here we go. Button A. Button B. B. Button A and B. Great, now we're going to mix it up a bit because we can do whatever we want with the microphones. Okay, here we go. A and B. 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 A. What's my favorite one? B. B. A and B. A.
That was a relief. I could have called them flat, so thank you for helping me out there. A very simple, I'm sure you'll agree, simple activity and incredibly low tech, as you can see, which is the point of it. We don't want it to be sophisticated, we don't want it to be high tech at this stage, but we want children to start thinking. So when they finish this activity, we can ask them some questions. Yeah? What actions did you do? What told you to do those actions? What did you listen to? Okay? You were listening to the code. Yeah? And you can do a follow-up, a nice follow-up activity where you pair students up, you pair learners, and one of them is the code, the other is the microbit. Okay, so from that activity, you have taught your learners the basics of computer coding. It's as simple as that. And from there, you can take it anywhere you want to. And I'm sure you'll see it's very, very easy. Okay, so let's see how it works. This is the code, okay, but this is not the code. What's this? Anybody remember? It was a big blue banner. There was a big blue banner telling you what it was. Input. It was the input. Well done. Okay. So this is our input, and then something has happened to our input. What's happened? What have we done when we wrote this code? You're telling it what to do, okay? So you've got your input, thank you, and then you've got the telling it what to do bit. Yeah, very technical. Telling it what to do bit, plus your input is your code, and that's what it is. And what happened? Yeah, you did a high five. Now there, you can't see anything on the microbit, why not? Yeah. Okay, so you can see that when we talk about sound on the coding board, instantly we get a little visual of the cables, because to make sound you need to connect it to something. Okay? But we've got a different colour block as well here. So you can talk about colours, you can talk about the input and the output. And here, what did you do when your button A and B was? Yeah, you shouted your name. Yeah. Okay, so the microbit can write words. Words can appear on this LED screen. Okay, here. And my name can appear, or your name can appear. And finally, what did you do very well, by the way? When I shook you? You made a heart, you showed the love. Yeah, great. So, from that activity, you have generated really good knowledge of computational thinking, and you've also had fun. You've also listened to English and been speaking with your partner. So, let's have a look at some actual language practice activities. Once they know that, basics of coding, they can then take the microbit, work with a partner or in a group, and play around with it, do whatever they want. And we're going to look at 4 activities that you can do to help focus on language form and structures. Then what we'll do is we'll look at some projects and think about how we can use the microbit and make incredible fun models with it. We're going to, first of all, look at this activity. Do you know this game? No. 20 questions? Yeah. You can do 20 questions without a microbit, of course, but if you bring the microbit in when you've just learned how to code it, it can be a really good fun way of getting your students to practice question formation. So, let's have a go. Let's do this together. Okay, that's on the next slide. So, we have 2, let's see. We have 2 images on the microbit. What's this? Okay, happy face, smile, happy face. So the happy face is yes. And we have a sad face. Sad faces? No. Okay, you can also code the microbit to time how many questions your partner is asking you. And you can code it to make a string appear saying, well done, or sorry, try again. So you can use that basic coding for this language activity. We're going to play it together. I need you to ask me 20 questions, or maybe fewer. I'm thinking of a vegetable. Okay, and I would like you to shout out some questions. I'm not going to speak, I'm going to respond via my friend the microbit. And let's see if you can guess the vegetable in fewer than 20 questions. Okay, so. I just can't stop speaking.
Is it a root vegetable?
Is it round?
Usually.
Is it big? Is it leafy?
Does it have seeds inside?
I think. Is it bigger than that remote control?
Is it a winter vegetable?
I'd like to think.
Do you usually...
You're counting. I'm just thinking about you.
You have 2 questions left.
Do you usually eat it raw or cooked?
Okay.
Do you usually eat it raw?
Spinach.
No. Okay, so you can see the idea of the game. Shall I tell you what it is? And apologies if I answered any of those questions wrongly. It's an artichoke. Does it have seeds inside? No. Sorry about that. Just because I do love the word gabjof. Okay, so you can see that's a game that just is taking a simple language game off the page, and children do really get involved and practice questions. You could say, guess what film I went to see yesterday, and get them to ask, did you? Okay, you can ask professions, any kind of vocabulary you want to focus on. Okay, so it's a fun, simple, nice little game where they can instantly use the microbit. Okay. Something else that you saw with the heart, yeah, was that you can program your microbit to display icons. Yeah? And children often love icons. They can design their own icon with the microbit coding, or they can use the preset icons. So, have a look at these icons here. What can you see? You might have to be a bit imaginative and use your imagination with some of them. What can you see? Heart. A castle. Or a t-shirt. Could be a castle, could be a t-shirt. What's this? What do you think this is? It's Pac-Man's enemy. It's a ghost. Okay. So, another activity that you can do is storyboarding, okay? And making up a story using the icons, which is a very fun activity. And you can use it to practice lots of different language structures, such as connecting language and signposting as you're telling your story, or narrative tenses, because you're narrating what happened. Now, I would like you to look at my story, turn to your partner, and see if together you can create a story, okay? So I'm going to show you icon by icon. I want you to look at the person next to you, okay? Your co-creator of stories. And I would like you to just think about, this is a silly story. It's a very silly story. I'm sure that you could think of a better story, but mine's a little bit silly. So just think about how you would tell the story. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. You can add as many words as you want. Once upon a time. Next icon. Okay, next one. Next one. And my favorite one. And this one again. Again. And the last one. Fantastic. Lots of speaking, lots of communication, lots of collaboration, thinking going on. Okay. What kind of language did you use when you were telling your story with your partner? Past tenses, adjectives, emotions, maybe? Sorry? Time adverbs, yes? Okay, so you can do this anyway. You set the task. You can do it any way that you want to generate the language that you want to for a freer language practice. You can follow it up, of course, with the story writing. This one? A house. You can use modals of deduction here as well. I forgot this one. This is sleep. sleepy face. Oh, this one's working this time, great. Okay, and I'd just like to show you a video, so I might need a bit of sound here. Could I get some help with the sound? Let's see if it works straight away. This is to show you another activity that you can do once you can code the microbit, asking similar kind of question asking, but this time the microbit tells you whether something is true or false. This was a great activity that one of our teachers in the Palma de Mallorca Centre, who ran this activity the first time this summer, came up with, and he sent me the video. It's very short, just to show you how it can work in the classroom.
Okay, lie detector. You always tell the truth. True or false? That means that you sometimes make mistakes.
Okay, that's one of my favourites. That was a lie detector. So once learners have learned to code and connect it to a little motor, they can do even more exciting activities with it. Okay, great. So those were some just examples of focus on form, thank you, activities. But I'd like to talk you through what a lesson would look like and how language skills are integrated at each point. So we start with, always with some kind of catalyst, some kind of way of igniting imagination. We may be talking about plastic waste in the sea, or we may be talking about wind farms, or we may be talking about transport. We may have a topic. We might be talking about smart homes, and we start talking about brainstorming vocabulary with our partner, as you may do for any topic, any pre-reading, pre-listening, pre-topic or pre-watching. We do some brainstorming and planning, okay? And we give tools to do that, planning tools. We looked at the unplugged coding, we did that together very effectively. And then something to help encourage communication, as we know that when especially younger students get very excited about something, they often go into their own language. So to help them, encourage them to collaborate and speak together, we give stickers, roles. So we've got the coder and then we've got the navigator, and the driver. One is giving instructions, the other one is doing the coding. We've got lots of reviewing questions and looking at the code, asking different questions. We have a making stage. We have, at the end, very important, a presentation explaining and describing and listening to peers presenting, reflecting and reviewing language. Also reflecting and reviewing the code and what we've learned about thinking, but also reviewing the language, what vocabulary we learned. And we can follow it up with writing, okay, around what we've been doing in the class. So we can write a report, a story, an article, and here you can see two of our students in, this is actually in the Madrid Centre, who are presenting their microbit game. Okay, so all throughout the lesson, the structure of the lesson, it could be a lesson or a series of lessons, depending on how much time you have. We ensure that at every point there are different language skills integrated into the structure. Okay, core skills. Creativity. The microbit lends itself to thinking outside the box. There is no right solution. There is no prescriptive code. You can be as creative and imaginative as you want. We designed a challenge which was called Beat the Plastic Challenge. This was the challenge, the materials that students had and the time that they had. We did this at an open day event. And the idea was that we wanted learners to be creative. And this is what they came up with. The nice thing about the microbit is that many of the inventions use recyclable materials, so we ask learners to bring in milk bottles, cartons, cardboard, aluminium foil. Okay? And this was one of the inventions. Some of them designed the microbit connected to aluminium foil. When you touch the foil, different icons appeared. Yeah, a paper, glass, a bottle, and a can. The can was a bit tricky. Yeah, and other ones just designed smiley face on something that was recyclable. Okay, so there were different levels of coding involved. Some were more complex, others were very simple. But they were using their creativity. Critical thinking. We've been talking a lot over the past couple of days about critical thinking, and this activity really does foster thinking, question asking, inquiring minds, helping develop inquiring minds. This is a quote from one of our teachers in Serbia, in the Western Balkans project, and this is what they said about the microbit. So they're asking questions and thinking about the coding itself, the microbit itself, but the microbit activity also helps think about critical thinking around different issues. Here we can see the global sustainability goals of the United Nations, which are connected to a microbit competition that is run by the Microbit Foundation I showed you at the beginning. This is online, it's called Do Your Bit. Okay? This year the focus is on life below water and life on land. And this is what a group of girls in Mauritius came up with around this project. They designed a detector to detect temperature for forest fires. And another group thought about extinct animals and invented animals and created a board game using the microbit as a dice. So, we're going to end now. I've just realised I've gone quite a bit over time, so we'll finish with a fun activity. And what I'd like you to do is to open your ears, okay, because we're going to listen to some microbit music. Now, I am not a musician, but I have coded the microbit here. Bit of percussion there. To make some beeps, and the beeps, okay, about there. The beeps are representing a famous song or tune, okay? So we're going to do this as a team activity, okay, to finish up with. We've got this side of the room, the micros, this side of the room, the bits, okay, the micros versus the bits, and all you have to do to get a point for your team, Ali will be the point keeper, is to shout out if you recognise the tune, okay? So, you have to use your imagination for the last one, okay? I have coded the microbit, one microbit. When I press button A, it's going to play a tune. When I press button B, it'll play a different tune. Okay. When I press A and B, another one, and finally when I shake it, a different one. Okay, this took me quite a long time. So, here we go. Are you ready? I'm wondering whether my battery might have run out. In a second. Okay, Star Wars. Number 2, are you ready? Now that I've sorted out that sound, here we go. Yes! I wasn't sure if anyone would recognize that, so thank you very much. Okay, ready for A and B? Yep, here we go. probably. Not everybody will recognise it. Eating? Is it eating? Would you like to hear it again?
Close encounters, a third kind.
Close encounters of the third kind. Okay, the third kind. Yep. And the final one, here we go. I'm going to shake it. I will give you 1,000,000 points if you get this one, okay? A lot of imagination. Anyone? Who said that? Oh my God, I love you. It's Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Okay. So thank you very much for listening today. I hope that was interesting and inspirational. Please try out the microbit. You don't need a microbit to do the coding. You can go to microbit.org, and you can see on a simulator what you have coded. You do not need a microbit. Obviously, the joy of the microbit is the physical computing, but you can play around with it and try it out without a microbit. Okay, so thank you very much for being a fantastic audience. And you can see my email. I'll be here if you want to play around with the microbits a little bit. And that is my email there if you would like to contact me